Okay. That's all I was saying. I don't want to. No. And I don't think it'll be. It's just for everybody can be. Yeah. I'll normally do this, right? Come out 395, 4 hours, stuff like that. Tom Meyer. Where'd you fit? Yeah, I did. I thought it was you ready.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the South Bend Common Council meeting, Monday, February 27, 2012. Will we all please rise for the invitation that will be given to us by Reverend Honey Slater?
Let's pray. Lord God, we thank you for the privilege of living in a nation that we elect those who we want to govern over us. And I thank you for these men, these women on the city council and the mayor and his staff that we have put in a position of governing over us, but also seeing that we have the police department, the fire department, the EMTs that protect us, that minister to us. And Lord God, I pray for those officers, those firemen, the men, the women, that you protect them in the line of duty. I pray for their families because they need the strength sometimes and the grace for their spouses and their fathers and their mothers to go out and to protect us. So Lord, we just ask that everything that's done tonight is done in an orderly fashion and it brings glory to you, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Voidy, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Scott. Present. Mr. Henry Davis.
Henry's here.
Mrs. Shea. Here. Dr. Varna.
Present.
Councilmember White.
Present.
Mr. Furlick.
Present.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Present.
And Dr. Furlick and Councilmember President Dieter are absent, so we have 7 present.
Thank you, Mr. Voidy. On agenda item number 4, we will move the report from the subcommittee to March the 12th, and we will have both of those readings on that night, at the request of our clerk. Before we have our special business, we would like to welcome troop number 173 from Grace United Methodist Church from Southside. Will they please stand, and we can all give them a big hand. Future leaders of the city, thank you for coming. Now we have our special business. Mr. Voidy, could you please read Resolution 1214? I'm sorry. Yeah, man.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, publicly commending and honoring Howard W. Buchanan II for his more than 38 years of dedicated service to the South Bend Fire Department.
Thank you. Councilwoman White.
Yes, I'm so honored to be able to present this resolution on behalf of South Bend Common Council in recognition of Howard Buchanan II, his 38 years of service to not only the city of South Bend, but also for the fire department. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Buchanan to come and join me, and anyone else that's with him, please feel free to come to the podium at this time.
Hey, Timmy, take some pictures.
I noticed that Mr. Buchanan has brought his own personal photographer. It's very unusual to see him without his own camera. So I am indeed honored at this time. A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, publicly commending and honoring Howard W. Buchanan II for his more than 38 years of dedicated service on the South Bend Fire Department. whereas the Common Council notes that at the age of 5, Howard Buchanan II became fascinated by the sound of fire trucks and the red lights of ambulances as he grew up on the east side of South Bend and later graduated from John Adams High School. And whereas Howard Buchanan II, more than 38 years career on the South Bend Fire Department, began when Fire Chief Jack Bland contacted him for a training class after a vacancy became available. And whereas Howard Buchanan II's long career included many promotions to the rank of captain and later to battalion chief, then to be an assistant chief, before being named fire chief in 2007 by Mayor Stephen J. Lickey when he succeeded Luther Taylor, who retired. And whereas Fire Chief Buchanan demonstrated on a daily basis his commitment to the South Bend Fire Department by being a shining example of the values, integrity, respect, pride, accountability, and partnerships, which are the backbone of this very dedicated, multifaceted fire department. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of South Bend as follows. Section 1. On behalf of all the citizens of the City of South Bend, Indiana, the South Bend Common Council honors, publicly commends, and congratulates former Chief Howard W. Buchanan II for his more than 38 years of loyal and dedicated service on the South Bend Fire Department. Section 2. Howard Buchanan's leadership and vision has continued a strong commitment to excellence, which each of the 252 sworn firefighters dedicate their lives to each day in seeing that the highest level of protection of life, safety, and property takes place on a 24/7 basis in South Bend, Indiana. Section 3. May your retirement be filled with many blessings, and may you marry your wife for 38 years, and your children, Letitia, Travis, and Tanya, have many years of enjoyment as you capture memories with one of your many cameras. He has a lot of cameras. We thank you and salute you for a job well done. Section 4. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the council and approval by the mayor. I do ask for your support, but prior to your support, I think that it's fitting that we would give Howard Buchanan II opportunity to really express some of his feelings at this particular time.
Thank you.
Wow. To the Common Council, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and all of you, thank you so much for this wonderful honor. I'm really was just overwhelmed by the honor, me being honored by it, and you taking the time to do this for me. The City of South Bend has been pretty much all my life here, and all my life, I should say, and I enjoyed every step of the way. It seemed like it's so funny that I was getting paid to do something I love to do, but the money was good, okay? I'm wrong that but it was just, I just feel overwhelmed by the thought that you wanted to honor me by this. Since my retirement, it seems like I'm getting so much attention. It's just unbelievable. And some people say that, well, you deserve it, but, you know, I'm kind of be humble about it. But I feel honored and dedicated that you guys feel that way. That what I did on a normal basis was something that you think was extraordinary. But I just want you to know as well that I don't have a daughter named Tanya. That's my granddaughter. So everybody, my wife and everybody calling like I got another daughter. I don't have another daughter. I got 2 kids, Travis and Letitia. But everybody says all over the world, where did another girl come from? It's my granddaughter. It's not my daughter. But I just want that to be clear. I don't have another child. I have twins, a boy and a girl. I was blessed with those 2 and tickled about that. So I just wanted you to know that. But just thank you so much. And thank you so much, Cam, for presenting this to me as well. And just continue to do the same. They're doing a wonderful, outstanding job for the City of South Bend. This is a wonderful place to live and just wonderful to be in the community. And we're doing a lot of good things, and we're going to continue to do a lot of good things for the community and for the people that live here. And thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Before he comes up, we'd like to hear from members of the council to give words of encouragement and praise to our chief.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you so much for your service. You're just a tremendous role model to everybody in South Bend and Indiana. So we appreciate that. You have a great retirement.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.
Howard. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, man.
Hi, church family. Hey. Congratulations on your retirement. Asset to this community will continue to be an asset. I'm sure you're going to be able to put more hours in with the organization, 100 Black Men, and do some more fine community work. But go have some fun. If you need somebody to stay away with you on vacation to Hawaii or what have you, let me know.
I'm taking sponsorship anytime.
There we go. You said the money was good. But no, congratulations and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much, Henry.
Thank you, Chief, for taking on such a difficult job and doing it so well for all those years. I hope you enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, Val.
After 16 years on the council, I think that's too much, but 38 years as an employee is quite a record. You're to be commended for it. I've always appreciated the help you've delivered as a fire chief and certainly your other years. I've heard those stories about your wonderful photography, and so maybe you'll have a chance to do more of that, and we'll see more of it on display, and I wish you the best in retirement, Howard.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your service, and thank you for the great job you did, and enjoy retirement.
Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you so much. Chief, thank you so much for being a role model for all of us. You've been a good person to talk to, and I appreciate your service here and your family, and you've been a great encouragement, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I now would ask for the council's support and would like to thank his wife, Mary, for sharing Howard with us for 38 years. And again, she needs a round of applause. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank my family for all showing up for me for this time of me being honored, and I appreciate that. And I thought Stephen, the new chief, he stepped in and supported me. Well, thanks, Stephen and Audrey. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a great deal.
This time we have our public portion. Anyone in the public would like to speak in favor of this resolution? Thank you. Anybody who would like to, well, we won't even have that part of it. Okay, council, what would you like to do?
Move that we adopt this by acclamation.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and adopted by all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side, it's carried. Thank you.
Yeah, they can do that in fire. You remember that day we were there? Shoot. Gotta have it. Clean shave. And actually, I'm glad they do that. Haircut and clean shave. You lost your glasses. If you lose that other lens, you're going to be blind. I'm telling you. I'm going to get some new ones that fell out. Oh, really? Was that new? Yeah. Some cheap things, but I can't see without it. That's right.
Okay. Now, next, we have another resolution, Resolution 1215. Mr. Wardy, would you please read Resolution 1215?
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, designating Tuesday, February 29th, 2012, as World Spay Day in South Bend, and urging residents to participate in local Spay Day activities.
Thank you. We now hear from Councilwoman Valerie Shea.
At this time, I would like to ask all of those participating in Spay Day to join me at the podium. Before I read the resolution and recognize our partners, I want to talk for a minute about some of the ongoing efforts to lower the euthanasia rate in our community. Despite the hard work of so many concerned citizens, the euthanasia rate in 2011 for South Bend St. Joseph County was 59%. We're all very excited about the new animal shelter that will be opening in May. Having a larger facility will provide us with more time and space to hold animals while we work to rehome those animals. Having a facility built with the materials and all the design considerations required to minimize disease transmission will help keep our animals healthy, safe, and adoptable. However, despite the best efforts of our shelter staff, our rescue partners, and our local veterinarians, without a call to action to promote responsible pet ownership in our community, our efforts will be in vain. Reducing the euthanasia rate is a responsibility that is shared by pet owners, animal control agencies, rescue groups, and advocacy groups. Nevertheless, the effort has to start with residents, making responsible choices about pet ownership. These choices include making adoption their first option. When looking to add a pet to your family, please visit the local shelter or consult with a local rescue group before you go to a pet store, a puppy mill, or a breeder. Please recognize that adding a pet to your family is a 12 to 15-year commitment. Do not take that commitment lightly. When you add a pet to your family, make sure that you spay or neuter your pet. By doing so, you will reduce your pet's risk of developing testicular cancer or mammary cancer or many other malignant tumors, as well as you will reduce a number of behavior issues. Together, we are working towards a no more homeless pet community, and every pet owner can play a role in reducing that number by having their pet spayed or neutered. With that, I will read the resolution. Resolution 4154-12. A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, designating Tuesday, February 28th as World Spay Day in South Bend and urging residents to participate in local Spay Day activities. Whereas in 1995, the Doris Day Animal League created Spay Day, which became a program of the Humane Society of the United States when they combined their operations in 2006. And whereas Spay Day became the first and only international day of action to promote the spaying and neutering of pets, where veterinarians and their staffs and animal welfare professionals, business owners, and citizens all join together to provide spay and neuter services and promote spay and neuter as an effective and humane means of decreasing homeless animals. And whereas annually approximately 4 million pets are euthanized in the United States, with 3.7 million of these pets being cats and dogs. And with many of these cats, dogs, and rabbits being healthy and adoptable, it is especially noteworthy to emphasize that an unspayed cat can give birth to 18 kittens each year, and an unspayed dog can give birth to 20 puppies annually. And whereas during the first 15 years of Spay Day activities, more than 1,457,200 animals were spayed or neutered, resulting in a saving for animal shelters, the average sum of $176 per animal to house a homeless pet, and thereby saving millions of taxpayer dollars. And whereas the South Bend Common Council recognizes that pets provide companionship and an opportunity to exercise responsibility to more than 71 million households throughout America, and whereas veterinarians, national and local animal protection organizations, and private citizens and volunteers are again joining together this year to advocate the spaying and neutering of pets, feral cats, and street dogs on World Spay Day 2012. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of South Bend as follows. Section 1. The Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana hereby declares Tuesday, February 28, 2012 as World Spay Day in South Bend, Indiana. Section 2. The Council urges the residents of South Bend to observe World Spay Day by having their pets spayed or neutered, or to sponsor the spaying or neutering of another person's pets, or to sponsor an animal in a shelter awaiting adoption. The Common Council is especially proud to acknowledge that the following groups and businesses are participating in local World Spay Day activities this year. And when I call your name, please step up. ABC Clinic. Amber's Pampered Pets, Clayview Animal Clinic. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Care of South Bend. Furry Friends and More. With Furry Friends, I'd also like to acknowledge Carrie's Pet Care Unlimited. Thank you, Carrie. Heartland Small Animal Rescue. Kreider Veterinary Clinic. Can you accept this? No, appreciate it. Linda's Camp Canine. The Michiana Feral Cat Initiative. Pet Refuge. You're like Martin Scorsese. Hugo? South Bend Animal Care and Control. University Park Veterinary Hospital. The Veterinary Technology Program of Brown Mackey will be recognizing tomorrow, and Western Veterinary Clinic. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the council and approval of the mayor.
Okay. Thank you. At this time, is there anybody else who would like to speak on behalf of the group, or anybody there? Before we go into our public portion? There.
I'd like to thank Sal for taking the time and the effort to put together this resolution. This is such an important piece to South Bend. We're kind of behind the times a lot, excuse me, when it comes to caring for our animals, spaying and neutering, and I guess my interest in this is kind of twofold. I love animals, and I would like to see no more homeless animals in South Bend, and this is the key. Second of all, I'm part of a rescue, and I also have a full-time job and a family, and I would like my life back. That would be really nice. Every weekend, every spare moment, every spare hour goes to caring for the animals in our rescue. So it would be nice if there was a day that came where we were no longer needed. That's my goal, that's my dream, and I could think that you guys can all vouch for that. If we could have our lives back and vacation and watch movies on the weekend, that would be great. So this is a start. Thank you.
At this time, we have our public portion. Those who would like to speak in favor of this resolution, please come forth or let us know. Please state your name and address.
Diana Shalagi, 709 Cushing. I am very much in favor of this. I adopted a cat off the street. She had been abandoned, and she was about ready. At the time, I lived in an apartment building, and at the time, the property manager was getting ready to animal care and control because all of the people in the apartment building were complaining about this cat that was hanging around. And she's a beautiful cat. She's a purebred. I couldn't believe that anyone would abandon her in the manner in which they did. So I took her in, and she has become one of the loves of my life. I was recently ill for about 3 weeks, and I don't think I would have recuperated as quickly as I did if it hadn't been for Missy. She kept me company, she kept me warm, and she provides me with love that I don't have because my children are all gone. So I encourage anyone to adopt an animal, especially a stray animal. Take the necessary precautions. And also at the animal shelter, there are so many animals that are homeless right now. And I am getting ready to adopt another animal. I believe the people across the street moved, and there are 2 cats running around the neighborhood that I feed every night, and I don't believe they have a home, and I believe they belong to the people that lived across the street. So I need to find some way to capture the cats and have them vaccinated, because I doubt that they have their necessary vaccinations. And then after all that, and take them to the groomer and all that, and after that, then I will take 2 more cats off the street. So I encourage everyone to please adopt an animal.
Everybody's looking at Kathy Townsville. I think she will help you out with that. All right. Thanks. Anybody else would like to speak in favor?
Well, her talking about her
your name?
Marlena Ballard. Again, my address 52670 Primrose Road, South Bend. My two cats that we currently have inside were originally trapped by Michiana Feral Cat Initiative. They were spayed, got their shots, and we finally tamed them enough to come into the house. If it was not for Michiana Feral, those cats would have kept reproducing more cats. Their cats would have kept reproducing more. So by having a program like this, it's like everybody stated already, going to stop it where it's starting, with educating the public and, spaying and neutering the pets. We have 2 great cats now that we didn't have before. If it was not for Michiana Feral, those cats would be dead or keep breeding more and more, and then, causing diseases and everything else. So that's it.
Thank you. All righty. Anybody in opposition? If not, I would like to bring this back to the council. What's your thoughts?
Move that we adopt this by acclamation.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried. Tonight there are no reports from the city offices, so I'd like to have a motion to resolve into the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
I'm going to move right in.
The committee of the whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meeting where bills are given a second and public hearing. I wish to share with you that the bills that will be given a second reading and public hearing have been given a first reading and set for a committee meeting and public hearing prior to this evening's meeting. I do ask that the council members allow the petitioner to give his or her report prior to asking questions of them. In addition, I ask that you allow me as the chair of the committee of the whole to recognize you prior to addressing your question or questions. This way, everyone will have opportunity to speak. At this time, I will ask the city clerk, John Vorty, to give second reading to Bill 02-12.
Public hearing on a bill to vacate the following described property. The first east-west alley north of LaSalle Street, west of St. Peter Street, and the first north-south alley west of St. Peter Street, north of LaSalle Street. The street is described as St. Peter Street running north from the north right-of-way line of LaSalle Street.
Thank you. Is there a committee report?
Yes, Madam Chair, the Public Works and Property Vacation Committee had a public hearing on Bill 212 this afternoon. It comes to council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. I now ask that the petitioner would come before the podium, that you state your name and address, and to share with us key points regarding the bill that is before us.
Mike Dance from Dan Turner and Associates, 1643 Commerce Drive here in South Bend, representing the Diocese of Fort Wayne, South Bend. What we're asking for this evening is for the final leg of the St. Joseph High School project, and this entails asking the council to go ahead and vacate the portion of St. Peter Street, which lies north of LaSalle Avenue, right around the Family Dollar site, also on the north side and the west side of that site. There were two public alleys that were 14-foot wide. What we are asking the council to do is vacate those three right-of-ways so that we'll be able to go ahead and ask for utility easement releases. And then what we'll do is we're going to be submitting a subdivision to Area Plan Commission for the entire campus for St. Joe High School to make it one large legal lot of record. This is just a step in that process. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any questions? No. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
At this time, we'll move to the public hearing portion. Is there anyone present wishing to speak in behalf of Bill 02-12? Anyone present wishing to speak on behalf of this bill? Seeing no one, is there anyone present wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone present wishing to speak in opposition? Again, I see no one. The public hearing portion is now closed. Council members, what is your pleasure?
Madam Chair, I move that Bill 212 go to full council with favorable recommendation.
It's been moved and seconded that Bill 02-12 will be sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation. All those in favor of the motion, may I hear your vote?
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. Bill 02-12 will be sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation. We have before us Bill 03-12. We have a request from the petitioner to continue this bill until March the 12th.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, may I hear your vote?
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. At this time, we'll move to Bill 81-11. We did have a public hearing on this, and is there a committee report?
Yes, it was, Madam Chair. And the committee met. We had a hearing. I think the council has moved to, at the request of the mayor, to withdraw this particular bill. May I have for a couple of seconds, please? Just real briefly.
At this point, the only thing appropriate is a report from the committee.
Okay. The report from the committee is to move for withdrawal at the mayor's request.
Okay. At this point, I don't believe that we asked for the petition to come before. No. So we have a motion at this particular time to accept
the motion
to
at the request of the mayor. The motion would be to strike the bill from the record.
Motion to strike.
It's been moved and seconded.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, may I hear your vote?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay, let the record show that Bill 81-11 has been withdrawn from the agenda as of today.
Move the revised report to full council. Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries.
The full council is now back in session. Mr. Voight, could you read bill number 0212?
Third reading on a bill to vacate the following described property. The first east-west alley north of LaSalle Street, west of St. Peter Street, and the first north-south alley west of St. Peter Street, north of LaSalle Street. The street is described as St. Peter Street running north from the north right-of-way line to LaSalle Street.
Move for passage of Bill 02-12.
Second. Do we have the roll call now?
Mr. Scott? Aye. Mr. Henry Davis?
Aye.
Mrs. Sherry?
Aye.
Dr. Varner?
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. Now we move to our resolutions. Resolution 1208. Mr. Voight, could you please read that?
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the South Bend Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 730 and 734 South 29th Street, South Bend, Indiana.
The committee report, the Zoning and Annexation Committee met this afternoon, and we bring Bill 1208 to the full council with a favorable report. Now, at this time,
Mark Lyons with the Building Department, Office at 125 South Lafayette. This was given public hearing at the February 1st, 2012 meeting of the Area Board of Zoning Appeals as a special exception request for 730, 734 South 29th Street to allow a child care facility. Comes with unanimous favorable recommendation. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? At this time? No, there are no questions. At this time, we would have our presenter. We would like to make an announcement. We would like for everyone to recognize that he should not come up to the full the floor unless we are called up. And thank you.
Mr. Vice President, members of the council, my name is Bernard Feeney. I'm a registered land surveyor at 715 South Michigan Street. I'm here this evening, on behalf of Charles and Tammy Barber, the owners and operators of We Friends Daycare Center, the petitioners in this particular matter. Mr. and Mrs. Barber have operated We Friends Daycare since 1996. And they have operated it continuously since that time. When they originally opened, they opened the facility at 701 South Ironwood, which is their home. At that particular point in time, there was no problems at all because, by definition and by ordinance, a daycare center operated in an individual's home is a perfectly legal operation. In 2002, Mr. and Mrs. Barber bought the property at 730 South 29th Street and moved their operations for We Friends Daycare Center to that particular location. At that point in time, they secured the required permits to do the necessary modifications to the property and the necessary upgrades that they felt were appropriate for the daycare center. But at that point in time, they didn't ask and they weren't told of the requirement that an individual operator would be required to live in the facility that they provided daycare in. In 2009, Mr. and Mrs. Barber purchased the piece of property next door, which was at that point in foreclosure, and it had been, prior to the foreclosure, a house of notoriety in that neighborhood based on the number of times that it had received visits from South Bend law enforcement. So it was a good thing that they bought the house. And they continued with the use of that house through the proper permits for construction and other operations, but again, did not become aware of the requirement to have to live in the daycare facility until November or December of 2011. At that point in time, they came to my office and we discussed the appropriate procedures, which of course brought us before you tonight. Each of you has received a binder containing information on We Friends Daycare Center. These two properties are located at 730 and 734 South 29th Street here in South Bend. In the initial part of the handout, you will see that there is an informational section that introduces each of you to We Friends Daycare Center and gives you their mission statement as well as what they hope to do with each child that comes to them. In the second part, you will see the actual physical exterior of the buildings as well as the environment and spaces that each of the children are able to utilize both for recreation as well as learning. And you also will see in the next section the classroom environment which each of the children can utilize. Further, you will see sections devoted to both the infants and young children as well as the older children, which was the purpose of 734 South 29th. Part of the reason that brought us here tonight was what we believe to be a complaint by one of the neighbors on parking. And to their credit, Mr. and Mrs. Barber became very proactive at that point regarding the parking situation in their neighborhood. We discussed appropriate paths for them to take. And they immediately got busy, and before the first of the year, and through the first of the year, got an agreement in place for their employees as well as some of the parents who might stop in to chat with any of the employees of We Friends, the opportunity to park at a nearby church in their parking lot, which is not used during the day. In addition, We Friends became very proactive and issued a letter to their employees as well as to the parents indicating that all employees were to park in the 9 spaces provided on site, and any overflow parking was to occur at the church. Any parents that intended to stay other than through normal pickup were directed to park in the church parking lot and then come on over to the daycare. The one issue that the We Friends Daycare has absolutely no control over is the school buses that stop and drop off children at the end of the day. After the school day and before their parents can pick them up, We Friends will take in kids from school and we'll watch them. Children with special needs are delivered in buses, and this requires by school policy that someone come out to meet the bus and be at the bus when the child, before the child is unhooked from the safety belts in the bus. The child is then brought down the ramp on the bus and then brought into the house. This process can take as many as 5 minutes, and I know from personal experience that it can be a delay to any people that are going down the neighborhood street. That is unfortunate, but we have all at different times taken a deep breath when there was the need for a disadvantaged individual. So we are asking tonight that anybody who has been delayed by a school bus who is letting off a disadvantaged child to consider what's going on at that particular point. The Barbers in that book that has been passed out to each of you have assembled 46 letters and signatures on a petition of support for their daycare center remaining in the River Park neighborhood. The Barbers, in addition, have in a later section of the presentation put together a number of community support letters from Indiana University, from teaching professionals throughout the community, and others who are very much in support of what We Friends does for the children of this community. Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask your approval of this petition this evening. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If there are any questions of Mr. and Mrs. Barber, they are here at the meeting this evening. And one final thing that I would ask is that neighbors who are here in support of this petition, but who may opt not to speak tonight, would please stand and let the council see that they are here in support of the We Friends Daycare.
Thank you. At this time, are there any questions from the council? If not, we will have our public portion. Those who would like to speak in favor of this bill, please come forth. State your name and address. We will take those who just stood on this point. Those who would like to speak in opposition. Seeing none, the public portion is now closed. Back to the council.
I'd I'd like to move for passage of Bill 12-01.
Pardon me?
Adoption.
Second.
Resolution portion.
Okay. Mr. Second? Mr. Voight, Mr. Rowe.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Varner.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott. Aye. Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Voight, would you please read Resolution 1209?
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1902 Western Avenue, South Bend, Indiana.
Okay. Ms. Lyons.
Mark Lyons, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals. I'll have one point.
Need a report. Thank you. The Zoning and Annexation Committee met this afternoon, and we bring this to you with a favorable report. Thank you.
Mark Lyons of the Building Department located at 125 South Lafayette Boulevard. This was again given public hearing at the February 1st, 2012 meeting of the Area Board of Zoning Appeals. There's a special exception request for a bar, restaurant / nightclub at 1902 Western Avenue. It comes to you with a 4-2 vote with an unfavorable recommendation. At the public hearing, there was one individual that was there to ask some questions and one individual that spoke against the petition. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
You did state earlier that the staff report, could you give us
The Area Planning Commission staff was in favor of the petition.
Did they give a rationale why?
They generally don't. They basically just give an opinion of
So their opinion was in favor?
They were in favor of basically the reuse of it was what they stated was a bar in the past.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? Yes?
Before going to the formal presentation, I'd like to read the amendment that was made at the committee.
That's fine.
Section 4 of the proposed...
Could you hold on 1 second? Let the door close.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Section 4 of the proposed resolution, we would add the following sentence. Approval shall be further subject to a lease for not less than 22 off-site parking spaces for a term of 5 years.
Okay.
So we would need a motion to amend.
Motion to. We have a motion and then a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is amended.
And for the record, I did share that with the petitioner's attorney, Mr. Henningsen.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will have the petitioner. Yes.
Mr. Davis and members of the council, my name is Bruce Huntington. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Botkin and Hall in South Bend. This is a petition to reuse a facility that was known formerly as the Seahorse Lounge. It is in its past use been as a bar nightclub use and has fallen in somewhat disrepair and has been unused. Been repurchased by someone now and has now been leased by my client, Janisha O'Neill, who intends to turn this into a nightclub known as Cashmere's. It will be a nightclub dancing and entertainment venue, and we believe that the reuse of this facility on Western Avenue works favorably to improving the entire area along Western Avenue. We are seeking a special exception which has to do principally with the nature of the zoning and the grandfathering of this property and the change in zoning that occurred some years ago. While this property was closed, it fell then within these parameters. We're now asking that you allow the special exception for its use and to allow for the use of this property with the 22 parking spaces and an off-site parking lot, which is within a half a block, in addition to the 5 or 6, I believe, adjoining spaces which are on the property itself. Your approval is sought, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for our petitioner? Yes, sir.
I would like to ask, while reviewing the packet, it had mentioned that at capacity the club will hold up to 200 people.
Well, I've been to the building, and if you can pack 200 people in there, Ms. Shea, it will be like sardines. I can't imagine it would fill up. That's kind of a fire code maximum number that would be allowed, but that would be literally elbow to elbow, and I can't imagine the building would fill up that full, even though I suppose in terms of square footage, you could probably pack them in like that. I don't imagine that happening.
I was just concerned if that's the goal or if that's the intention to have that number of guests. The parking situation with only 27 spaces could be a real problem for the neighbors.
At the initial hearing at the Board of Zoning Appeals and Area Planning Commission, there was some opposition with regard to the parking, but we believe we've solved that problem by having the parking lot and the adjoining spots, plus parking along Western Avenue and other nearby adjoining street parking. We don't believe it's going to offend the neighbors. And I might take note that the building was used in the past for this very same purpose and posed no problem and no complaints at that time that we're aware of.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there going to be any type of signage or any type of incentive to have these people park in that lot that's a half block away versus in the residential area? What's the incentive for them to?
I think there will be signage and signs on the building, signage near the building and at the lot directing them to park in that lot. And if they're trying to develop this business as I think they are, they may even have valet parking.
Yes,
they haven't offered me the job yet, but perhaps.
Sure. The business plan that you shared with us actually goes up to 250 guests. And again, we would like this, bar club to be successful, and you want to see near capacity numbers. Again, I guess I just share the same concerns that are there any future plans to increase parking in terms of a lot as opposed to street parking?
I suspect that they'll continue to look for additional parking. It's in their favor and to their benefit to do so, and to try to find parking and perhaps work with the commercial neighbors either across the street or along the street that would allow them to expand. It's certainly to their benefit to do that and to be able to provide that parking, and I suspect that some of that problem could be solved, in fact, with valet parking to find the spot for that customer.
Where would the valets park the cars?
I don't know that yet. We'd have to find that. At this point, the 22 parking spaces and the 5 adjoining spaces, or 5 or 6 adjoining spaces, are what we're dealing with right now, but we'll be looking for more space. We've also agreed, as Ms. Friend, Kathy Skansky-Friend has indicated, we will be amending the lease that we currently have in place to go to 5 years. And that's consistent with our business plan.
Yes, Mr. Stark.
Is there any concern of patrons of parking in Goodwill's lot?
I suppose we do have a concern about that, but they certainly can close that lot. They have the ability to fence it off and to chain it off as necessary. And we don't know that we can exercise control over that except to say don't park in the Goodwill lot. Our goal, our hope would be that we could work out some kind of situation with them to allow us to park there.
I'm just curious, what will be the hours of operation?
I believe I was told it was something akin from about 6 o'clock in the evening till 1 o'clock in the morning on weekdays, and from about 6 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the morning on the weekends, consistent with any local nightclub.
Yes.
Have they obtained their liquor license already?
I believe they have, yes. Once again, I'd like to point out the importance of the reuse of this building. If you were to drive by and see it as it is presently, it is not a particularly attractive place. And the ability and the desire that my client has to go in there and refurbish the building and reuse it in a positive way, I think, is important for that section of Western Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we would like to have those from the public who would like to speak in favor. Will you please come forth and state your name? Yes. Please come forth and state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Pettijohn. I live at 119 South 26th Street in South Bend, Indiana. As a former resident of Mishawaka, I'd like to speak about a neighborhood bar, Martha's Midway Tavern, which would accommodate probably close to 200 people, and parking was never an issue there. So, and that was a venue that attracted people who would walk to the Midway Tavern. So I would hate to see something like a reuse of a building like this to be put on hold just because we're worried about accommodating automobile traffic. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Antoine Taylor. I'm all for
Your
the...
address, please?
I'm sorry?
Your address?
826 and a half Leland Avenue, South Bend, Indiana, 46616. I'm all for Cashmere's nightclub. I don't see the parking being a problem considering it being a bar, lounge, nightclub. Usually people gather together to go out. And usually you have the use of one designated driver. Like I said, I don't see the parking being a totally big issue with the nightclub. It will bring more attractiveness to the area anyway, considering the vicinity that they're looking to open the club at. I'm not trying to downgrade the area or anything like that, but what the business plan they have in mind, I think will really bring a lot of attractiveness to the area, and I think that this will be a very good opportunity for them to go above and beyond you guys' aspects because they have very big plans for the club and to bring a lot of, not even to say attention to the community, but more like attractiveness to the community and create a comfortable environment for everyone, a safe environment. I don't think the parking should be an issue for the club. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Your name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Nakia Bradley, 1757 North Olive Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46628. Janisha O'Neill is my cousin, and we have raised our kids together. Our moms raised as well, and I feel like this is an opportunity where she can show young people like us, you know, with kids still in elementary school, middle school, that, you know, it doesn't stop here. You know, you can do whatever you put your mind to. We had our kids when we were young, you know, and this is something that her and her fiance is trying to do to better themselves and have something for their children to look up to them, you know. So I just feel like to give them a chance and see what they can do with it, that's all y'all can do. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening. Hi, I'm Selena Williams. I stay at 446 South Jackson Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46619, which is directly around the corner from the club. I think it'll be better for people, different atmosphere. She young, she trying to advance in the business world, so I think y'all should give her a chance. I don't think the parking thing will be an issue. I don't think it'll be an issue. I can walk through the alley and go. No, I don't think it'll be an issue.
All right.
But that's pretty much all I got to say. Just give her a chance, pretty much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Anybody would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, hearing none, I would just like to say I had a chance to, we'll close the public portion, and I would like to say that as the council person, I got a chance to go out there and see the site myself and be a part of it and check the parking, and then I'm pleased with their progress and their work, and I'm looking forward to them for this vote tonight on being able to move forward.
Yeah, and I concur. I want to make sure that we are mindful on what we do when we're looking at particulars and addressing certain situations. I think that there is a value in making sure that we develop within our neighborhoods and allowing businesses to flourish back through. There was once upon a time South Bend was very good at it, and I think Mission Walker kind of picked up the mantle and did it, and it still exists, where you have neighborhood lounges and pubs that bring in a community atmosphere that allows the neighborhood to grow because everyone has a relationship. If people come before this council to bring their own money and business to the city, I think it will be a positive thing for us to reward that with all of our help, because obviously we have enough vacant buildings to go around to everyone in the city of South Bend. So I think that as we move forward, when people do come before this council, look at all the positives of what we can do by inciting businesses in areas that don't have the retail experience or any other experience that we want to have, meaning more business. Clearly there will be obviously more jobs added to the area. Clearly there will be taxes paid on the building. Clearly the building will be up to par. And one of the biggest things that I think that is so great about it is that you bring more traffic to an area, which is called commerce. So you'll start allowing a bit of the city in itself to start flourishing. Western Avenue is still a main thoroughfare corridor to the area. Why not have more updates to that area? And this is what this is going to be, an update. Ms. O'Neill, you and your fiance, I wish you guys all the luck in the world, and I hope that this is a successful venue for you and the South Bend community. You will have my full support.
Thank you. Yes. To echo a little bit, just wanted to say thank you for choosing to invest in the community. I do think it's a good thing for that part of Western Avenue. I just would urge you to, and I'm sure you are, and I'm sure you will, just to work with the neighbors and to explore future parking opportunities. And you get some negative feedback from neighbors, just work with them and just try to find some better solutions if there are solutions needed for parking. But thank you for your investment.
Okay. What is the council's pleasure?
I move that Bill 1209, thank you, 1209 will be adopted as amended by the council.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Vorty, would you please do the roll?
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Varney.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
Vice President Delavan.
Aye.
7 ayes.
7 ayes. It is amended. It's nice to get a clap sometimes, I tell you the truth. All righty. Congratulations. All righty. With Mr. Vorty, we'll give them a second to step out. Go ahead and read it. Let's move forward. Bill number 1216.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving the issuance of scrap metal/junk dealer/recycling operation licenses for the calendar year 2012 pursuant to Section 4-51 of the South Bend Municipal Code.
Okay. Do we have a report?
Yes, Personnel and Finance Committee held a public hearing committee meeting on Bill 12-16. And we send this to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Vorty? Yes, you can make it right there.
Thank you. As you know, Karima Fowler, my deputy clerk, who works in the Ordinance Violations Bureau, or is the Ordinance Violations Bureau, has processed 17 applications, the full complement of scrap junkyard license applicants that were made this year, and saw to it that all city department heads relevant to the application needing approval on the application did so. Everything is in order. All applicants met all the criteria, and the recommendation from our department is that the council grant these licenses.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council for Mr. Vorty? Seeing none here, now we now move to the public portion. Those who would like to speak in favor of this resolution, please come to the mic and state your name and address. Seeing none, hearing none, we now move to those who would like to speak in opposition. Seeing none and hearing none, we move back to the council portion for your comments or wishes.
Move for the adoption of 1216.
It's Mr. Voorhees. Roll call, please.
Dr. Varner.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis. Aye. Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. And Mr. Voorhees, could you please read bill number 1217?
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, recommending stepped-up initiatives to implement more best practices, emphasizing more fuel-efficient, sustainable programs.
Okay, do we have the motion to amend?
Committee report.
No. Okay, committee report. Go ahead.
The Personnel and Finance Committee held a public hearing committee meeting on Resolution 12-17. And we send this resolution to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Okay. Thank you. Only one sec. Do we go to him first, right? And not to the amending part, or what do we do?
You go to the petitioner.
Preliminary comments from Mr. Davis first.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Preliminary meeting was helping define that one because I was getting ready to read the resolution itself, given the fact that we haven't done that. So I'm asking, you said preliminary.
You are one of the two presenters.
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and make the presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you, members of the council, public. What we have here is a resolution of the Common Council recommending step-up initiatives to implement more best practices in emphasizing more fuel-efficient and sustainable programs. Whereas the city of South Bend, Indiana, and Maycock have been leaders in implementing energy conservation programs for many years. And whereas on October 12, 1982, the South Bend Common Council passed an ordinance 7108-02, which among other things created a 15-member energy conservation committee with 9 members appointed by the council and 6 members appointed by the mayor, who were charged with addressing the present and future energy needs of the community. And number 1, advising the city administration and the Common Council on efficient uses of the present and future sources of energy by developing long-range conservation plans and emergency energy plans. Number 2, reviewing energy plans in each of the city departments, bureau, subdivision. Number 3, make information available on energy conservation and act as a clearinghouse for activities and information. Number 4, develop and recommend legislation which would foster conservation of energy, stimulate awareness, promote public participation, and obtain data and information. And whereas on January 14th, 1985, ordinance number 7420-85 was passed by the South Bend Common Council, which reduced the Energy Conservation Committee from 15 members to 13 members, with the provisions of both of these ordinances being codified into the South Bend Municipal Code as Section 2-53. And whereas on July 12, 2010, the South Bend Common Council passed ordinance number 10023-10, which among other things creates a position of Director of Energy Conservation, whereas the Common Council, in conjunction with the city administration, have implemented many regulations with regard to vehicles which have been codified in South Bend's Municipal Code, namely South Bend Municipal Code 2-122, use of private vehicles for city business, South Bend Municipal Code 2-123, regulation of city-owned vehicles, South Bend Municipal Code 2-124, discretionary vehicle allowance for city department heads or key employees, with the annual vehicle report being submitted by July 31st of each year. The 2011 annual vehicle report sets forth information on 17 departments and bureaus of the city of South Bend, where it gave detailed information on 1,091 units used by the city, listing the number, unit, year, license number, description, serial number, purchase price, assigned employee, whether it was a take-home vehicle, whether the employee lives in the city of South Bend, and whether the vehicle has an authorized city seal or marking thereon.
Whereas on February 29, 2012, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Green Summit, the future of transportation, with this summit being a community-wide annual, where John Burke, the City of South Bend's Director of Energy Conservation, will be a speaker. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, as follows. Section 1. The 2012 civil city budget has gasoline budget for $3.60 per gallon. And in light of the continuous spike in energy costs, the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, believes that there is an urgent issue warranted the immediate activation of the Energy Conservation Commission, so that it may report and update the Common Council and City Administration in a timely manner. Section 2. The Council believes that the addition of the responsibilities set forth in the South Bend Municipal Code, that some of these issues which should be addressed include the feasibility of the requirement of mechanism to purchase gasoline, fuel-efficient fuels, and energy-efficient vehicles with other entities such as the school corporation, the county, transport, etc., in order to realize cost savings to the taxpayer. Developing a short and long-term plans to retrofit and or replace city-owned vehicles so that we can use alternative fuels. Number 3, developing enhanced partnerships such as with the ethanol plant, which are currently underutilized local resources in our community. Developing programs addressing trip bundling, carpooling, and financial incentives for efficient vehicle use. Number 5, developing proper fleet size, which focuses on fuel-efficient vehicles that are in optimal size capacity for the intended function and uses. Number 6, developing idling policies for city vehicles, updating cost-benefit analysis of the entire city-owned fleet, focusing on improved efficiencies and cost-effectiveness. Number 7, developing more partnerships with multiple energy-conscious organizations, such as a new Think City Electric Care, which the city was able to purchase for $8. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and in effect and after its adoption from the council and approval by the mayor. Signed, District 2 Council Henry Davis and also Oliver Davis. Council, I look for your favorite support on this resolution.
I would just like to say that I'm glad to be a co-sponsor on this, and with all the high cost in fuel, and we at Transpo, I'm on their board as the city representative, and we've been talking about how to partner with a lot of our different local organizations, as Councilman Davis had just shared, especially with the high cost of fuel as it comes the summer and in the future. And the more we can come together to work out different agreements with each other, we may be able to work out situations where we can come in together and lower our costs and save all of the entities involved money. At this time, we have questions for council. Go ahead. Motion to amend.
Based on the discussions that took place at the committee meeting held this afternoon, and in working with Mr. Gillot and the council members that have brought this to our attention, the following recommendations are being made. To replace Section 1, to have it read as follows. The 2012 Civil City budget has gasoline budgeted at $3.60 per gallon. In light of the continuing spike in energy costs, the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, believes that there are urgent energy issues which warrant the immediate attention of the City Energy Director and the Green Ribbon Commission, so that they may report and update the Common Council and the City Administration in a timely manner. Section 2 would have a slight amendment just to the introductory sentence to read as follows. The Council believes that in addition to the responsibilities set forth in the South Bend Municipal Code, that those duties be assigned to the entities identified in Section 1 of this resolution, and that some of the issues which could be addressed include, and then the 7 items that were read by Councilmember Henry Davis, making a correction of a Scribner's error, item number 7, that it should be a Think City Electric Car.
Yeah. That's true, we are working on that.
So those are the amendments. I believe that Mr. Gilat, during the public portion, will address whether they are in support of those amendments.
Okay. So we have a motion to amend on that. Yes.
Point of order, really quick.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Not that I'm against those amendments. However, I think that what happened is that we have a board that was supposed to be acting on behalf of doing these sorts of things. This action was supposed to be a function. Clearly, there has been a duplication of boards and their functions over the years. I would like to even discuss making sure that that dormant board is dissolved completely. I think what we're doing right now is we're bypassing the order of events by just making an amendment or a motion to amend without taking care of the problem. The problem is that we have several boards that are supposed to be doing the same thing, and we're trying to give the authority of what is being played here to whoever we want to give it to. Now, I can fight and argue about keeping it with this particular board that was put in place in 1982. However, I'm not going to do that. What I'm asking is that we begin to do our homework and making sure that our homework is done properly. So we need to dissolve that board. I don't know if that goes to, directly to the mayor's office or by council, but that board needs to be dissolved as well as any other board that has a duplication of services. And that will actually address the amendment that Mr. Furlick is asking for, and also as well as the members from the administration. Again, I'm not against that. I just think that what we need to do is our homework and our job. And our job is to make sure that we don't continue to duplicate things and then say, oh, we don't need to have it there, because it looks like that you're trying to steer the direction of what is in play here. And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to support it if it fits. And if it fits, then we need to make sure those things are not duplicated. Thank you.
I defer back to the...
And Councilmember Davis, your point can be corrected with regard to the joint initiative that was council and city administration related under then Mayor Perrin. This council can direct me to draft an ordinance to repeal that particular section of the city code.
And I would think that would probably be better than just amending it because of purposes of...
And again, because the only thing before this council this evening is a resolution that is merely a statement of
Sure.
what you would like to do.
Sure. So, there's obviously a motion on the floor.
Yes,
and so we have to carry through the motion, but then I would want, I'm sorry, Chair.
Before you carry through the motion, could you please explain to everybody what you just shared so you can, the council, is everybody on the same page up here?
Again, the Energy Commission was created by a joint initiative between the Mayor Perrin's administration and the City Council when there was an energy crisis back in the early 80s. That ordinance is codified. It is still on the books. If it is the desire to have a sponsor by the City Council to repeal that particular section, we can do that. And then go forward with the initiative that is before the council and our
And there's also another item that hasn't been addressed and should be addressed as it is germane to this, is that who appoints the people to these different commissions and boards. I think that needs to be talked about as well if we're amending it. So I have no problem continuing this over until we get these things corrected. But I think those things need to be corrected in order to move forward. But we can move forward today with the idea of drafting an ordinance at a later time to answer these questions. So the motion was made and I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made and seconded.
That is to amend the bill before you, as read.
To amend the bill before it is read. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. It is now carried, and now we are, anything else, any other comments that the council has at this time? Yes, Councilwoman
I
White.
have a question. The first part that Councilmember Henry Davis indicated, are you saying, Kathy, that we would need to come up with a resolution for that to occur, to address the committee that was formed in 1982?
That would be a separate amendment because of it being codified into the city code.
So it is a council.
Right, that would be a separate. Yep.
Councilwoman Shay.
Sure. I just want to add to the record that I think we're all excited about the future of renewables and conservation, and I think we're all in favor of working together to address this problem. I want to say that I submitted 3 documents on this subject for the record. One is the Indiana Code having to do with energy and utilities. It's very unfortunate, but at the state level, there isn't a lot of support for renewables. Hopefully that will change with time, but I do think we need to work in concert with our state and federal lawmakers on this issue. The other document that I added to the record has to do with ethanol. I have some concerns with the suggestion of using ethanol as a fuel-efficient alternative to gasoline. I think there's a lot of documentation suggesting that ethanol is actually less energy efficient than gasoline. So I just want to let it be known that for the record I added a document discussing ethanol. And the last thing I want to mention is I think hybrids and a lot of the fuel-efficient alternatives to the traditional engine are great, but they come at a high cost, and so I would want for the city to carefully consider the transition from conventional engines to these fuel-efficient vehicles very carefully, because they come at a high price. So those were the only comments that I wanted to add, and I did provide supporting documentation for all 3 of these issues in your mailboxes.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for that. There's just some real urgent matters that are germane directly to the 2nd District. We have issues with transportation now with transfer when we're trying to get people on a route, and so we switched up those things. We've seen this, and I've talked about this earlier. I think you weren't present at the meeting when this came up. But there are other localities throughout the nation that have shared in interlocal agreements with the county, with the school board, or whatever municipal governments that were available, and the shared buying fuel from one particular vendor or supplier. And what this is trying to do is open that conversation up so that we can have it. I think it's to be a valuable conversation because we do have underutilized assets in this community. The ethanol plant is an underutilized asset. I'm not saying that they have the best remedy for this particular matter. I'm not saying they have the worst. But shaking our heads and saying no to it and putting us back into a box that we're already in is not going to grow South Bend. The thing is that we're trying to grow tax base and we're trying to bring more jobs here. And if we are going to do that, then we still definitely start looking at the alternatives that are out there, bring them to the table and addressing them in an efficient and effective manner. It may not work. It may work. Who knows? But in order to find those things out, we need to make sure that they're at the table. But again, the 2nd District right now is being hit with cutting transport routes. And I need to make sure that my people understand that I'm trying to provide a solution to the problems that we're facing. And so in the solution, it's going to obviously help cut costs and allow those routes to exist or even grow, but also maybe be a model for the rest of the state of Indiana as well. So this is a win-win. We're just having a conversation. I think the gentleman, John Burke, that's here that we hired in a couple years ago, may be able to provide us with some expert analysis. He may have some things that may add to this or take away, but I think that we need to have this conversation.
Okay. At this time, now we have our public portion. Those who would like to speak in favor of this bill, please come now and state your name and address and just share your comments.
I'm Gary July. I am the president of the Board of Public Works. I have an office on the 13th floor of this building. First, I wanted to note for the record that the friendly amendment that Kathy Sikansky-Farron read into your record on the amendments is acceptable to the administration. We appreciate the consideration on that wording. It's an opportunity for the administration and council to work together on matters of energy policy and to move the ball a little further down the field and a little quicker. The energy director, John Burke, has a substantially complete draft on a strategy that builds from the initial work we did with the Department of Energy Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. He's done some wonderful work. Just this past week, we clipped the ribbon on some of the lighting upgrades he did at Martin Luther King Center, which also affected the park maintenance building, fire station number 6, and I'm forgetting one more building. Charles Black. Okay, so John is working on kind of a triple bottom line that how can we improve our energy, environment, and economy altogether. Not 2 out of 3 is close enough, but we really have to have something that's better energy policy that saves us money and saves us carbon footprint on the energy source, helps the environment, and helps our pocketbook. In doing that, you need to think about life cycle costs instead of initial costs. So we're going to go through the list of items you suggested. I know that they are elements of John's thinking on strategy and policy for the city to invest our limited resources in a wise fashion so that we can be good stewards of the public resources entrusted to us. We've done some good things on fixed source, on energy used in our buildings, and we've done some good things associated with mobile sources, vehicles, trucks, our fuel that we pump through our tanks. We've tried looking at locking prices, and we've tried floating in the spot market. Some years we do better one way than another. We don't have a perfect crystal ball, and there's nobody on staff who is an expert in futures. So there's a lot to learn on this topic. John is a really smart person on this. We hired an expert on energy policy. So I think if we move forward, administration and council, welcome input. I was very involved in creating the makeup of the Green Ribbon Commission. It was not politically based. It was people who had backgrounds in business, people who had backgrounds in the environment. It was a nice cross-section of the community. There were over 60 people on that list. I can't tell you what their party affiliation would be, but typically we'd have 30, 40 people show up in committee structures and work on ideas on how to spend that grant money wisely. And so they've already convened, they've hashed through some of these issues. To use them again as a community cross-section to formulate strategy, I think is a better move than trying to resurrect the 1982 commission. I'll leave the cleanup of code to a later discussion of mayor and council. That concludes my remarks unless you have any questions for me.
When do you think they may meet again?
There's a tentative plan that they would convene around Earth Day. The sustainability director for Notre Dame and counterpart for Indiana University at South Bend have been, by virtue of their positions, the co-chairs of the Green Ribbon Commission. Mike Keene has typically hosted an event around Earth Day where we get together with the Center for a Sustainable Future and have a bit of a program and hear from staff, and in particular the energy director has taken more of a lead role, and I've moved into the background on that.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Any others who would like to come and speak in favor of the hearing? Seeing none, hearing none. Anybody like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, hearing none, we move back to the council portion for the recommendation. No comments.
Motion for passage?
Yes.
Move for adoption of
Move for the adoption of
as amended.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Vorty, would you please read the roll?
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furley.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Varner.
Aye.
And Vice President Oliver Dick.
Aye.
7 ayes.
7 ayes. Thank you. And now we move to bills for first reading. Bill number 04-12. Mr. Vorty.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating $208,735 from the Non-Reverting Loss Recovery Fund, number 227, in 2012 for improvements at Belleville and Howard Park.
Okay. Move the 412 go to Parks and be sent for second, third reading in public.
hearing on 312.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Bill number 05-12, Mr. Wardy.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating $5,200 from the Gift, Donation, and Bequest Fund, number 217, in 2012 for the design, production, and installation of wayfinding bicycle signs.
Thank you.
I move the 512 be sent to Public Works and Property Vacation Committee, be set for second, third reading and public hearing on 312. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is carried. Now, on unfinished business, we have Bill number 82-11.
Move that Bill 82-11 be set for second reading and public hearing on 326 and final reading on 4-9. Third reading.
Second. Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is carried. Any new business to come before the council tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I would like to thank the entire clerk's office, council members that came to participate. When Mr. Mayor Michael Pimbleton came out, I think he really enjoyed himself. I think he had very good things to say about South Bend. One thing that, was eye-opening to me is that we just so bogged down with a lot of the issues that, we face on a daily basis. He was basically very optimistic and saying the city is very clean. It's really, really nice. I'm impressed. You guys are doing a very, very good job. And so I think that was just an objective way of looking at things because it was a fresh pair of eyes. But I think that he had a very good time, and for those who showed up, participated, and said hello to him during the course of the roundtables or just, in passing, I really thank you for your hospitality and your help. I think we have successful roundtables with the business people, the elected officials that show from the county, also from the city, and the last one we have a community member roundtable discussion for breakfast Saturday morning. So I think mission was accomplished. I think a lot of people feel invigorated, and that conversation was totally valuable. So thank you so much. The next thing I wanted to bring up, whose job is it to maintain this room? Is it county? I think it'll be valuable that we write a letter to them because that carpet is turning colors. The vents are not in the best condition. It looks like they probably need to be cleaned. Probably one of the reasons why I'm coughing here. And the back of the chairs, it doesn't look good. I think it looks pretty bad. It's a bad presentation to the public. I think we paid them rent for this room. I think we should have a clean room to meet in. And so as soon as possible, I don't know who from the clerk's office could get that out, but I think it needs to be addressed. The city is actually paying money to use this, am I correct? It is. So we're paying to use it. I would like to have a clean room, and I think the people from the public need to have a clean room to come in as well. Look at the back of the chairs, look at the floors. It's visible, and it's just not tripping. It doesn't look good. It's not clean. And I think that we deserve more.
I agree. All righty. Anybody else from the council would like to share something? I would like to say that when this transfer, we are on the website. We are now putting on there where you will be able to find out where your bus is. You can plug in your address and see if the bus is 5 minutes from your house, 10 minutes from your house, 15 minutes from your house, those kind of things. And we're looking at that. Everything we tested this past week. And it should be almost ready to roll very soon. You can go right there and see it, which is really nice, considering the fact that you have to wait outside in the rain and the snow or on a very hot day. You could stay home and plug in your computer or your phone and just put up the website and say, the bus is 10 minutes from my house, and you can come out. And that's what we've been working on, using technology. So that's exciting to see, and you will be hearing more and more about that in the coming weeks. Anything else? Privilege of the floor. Those who would like to speak on the privilege of the floor, please come forth now and share your thoughts. You have, 5 minutes? Or 3? 3 minutes. Seeing none, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.